In 2001, Microsoft released one of the best operating systems of all time, Windows XP. But how did we go from something very different to Windows XP? I'm Zeb, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the development of Windows XP. This is going to be one of my more in-depth videos, so let's start. The story of Windows XP starts before Windows 2000 and ME was released. Back then, Microsoft had released two versions of Windows, one for consumers, for example Windows ME, and one for businesses, for example Windows 2000. Microsoft was working on two different operating systems, Windows Odyssey and Neptune. Not much is known about Odyssey, and there are still no builds available to this day. However, we do have a build of Windows Neptune. Windows Neptune Build 5111 is a build of Windows Neptune that was compiled on December 10, 1999. It was sent to testers on December 27, 1999, and was leaked online on January 24, 2000. This is the only build of Neptune that we have, so here are the changes. This is the build that adds the activity centers to Windows. There are 4 activity centers found in this build: Photos, Music, Games, and the Start page. However, you cannot access them unless you make modifications to the system. Windows Identities was also a new feature introduced in this build. You can find this in the control panel, but you can still access the Windows 2000 account's control panel applet. This version of it can create 4 types of user accounts: Owner, which is basically an administrator; Adult, which is also an administrator; Child, an account type that cannot install programs or modify computer settings; and Guest, which provides guest access to the computer. Windows XP would reduce this to 3 account types: Administrator, Standard, and Guest. Another new thing added to this build was PC Help, which is a feature also added in Windows ME. It's found in CWinNT PC Help CTR. It's an HTML document, and we can see how it would have functioned if the Neptune project did not get merged. Speaking of merged, Microsoft merged Windows Neptune and Odyssey to create Windows Whistler sometime in 2000. The first leaked build of Windows Whistler is build 2202.1, which was compiled on February 2, 2000. Some of the changes in this build include that every window has a comments button. Hi, it's me, Future Rootwick. There's an issue I made with this clip. In the previous clip, I said that 2202.1 has a comments button on every single window. Now, while that is technically correct, it is also wrong, because in order to get that, you have to enable a registry entry. And even after you enable the registry entry, it won't say comments. It will say lame. If you want to learn more, check out my video. I'll leave it in the description of all the Whistler builds I explored. But anyways, back to the video. So yeah, including the submit a comments window. There is also a bug where it has a bad CD-ROM driver that might not work. So you have to use MS-DOS to format and copy the files to install the version of Windows. However, most of the branding still identifies itself as Windows 2000. Windows Whistler build 2211 is an early build compiled on March 9, 2000, and was leaked 11 days later on March 20, 2000. This build has some changes, so let's get over them. Setup now allows you to recover Windows 2000 installations using an automated system recovery. Another change is that the title bars for Welcome to Setup, the font was changed from Tahoma to Arial. The control panel now looks more like Windows ME's control panel. This build also includes the ability to enable the login screen from Windows Neptune Build 5111. To enable it, you have to modify a key in the Windows registry. It's located in HKey Local Machine, Software, Microsoft, Windows NT, Current Version, WinLogon, and change the logon type key to 1. The wallpaper has been replaced with a Windows ME style wallpaper, and Windows Explorer now looks like Windows ME's Explorer. This build also updates a few Windows programs, including Internet Explorer and Outlook Express. The next build I want to show is Windows Whistler build 2223, a beta 1 build compiled on April 11, 2000, and was leaked 6 days later on April 17, 2000. Here are some of the changes. The quick format for NTFS was added in this build, which made it easier to install. The build string down at the bottom identifies the build as Whistler 2001, showing Whistler, which is the code name, and 2001, meaning that Microsoft already knew the year the OS was going to release. This is also the first build that makes the Windows Neptune logon screen the default logon screen. However, there's now a Windows logo present, and the text reads, "Click on your name to start." This is the first build to include the watercolor theme, but back in this build, it is called the business theme. However, to enable it, you have to modify some registry keys in the Windows registry. The OOBE was ported from Windows ME, but with a few changes. 1. Merlin does not do anything, even when you press F1. The build also has a feature called Start Page, which was basically a newer version of the activity centers from Neptune and Windows ME builds. To enable this, you also have to modify some Windows registry entries. This build also added fast user switching. However, after changing the Windows registry to the correct settings and logging out, it breaks the login screen. To get it working again, a restart is required. Booting back up, we can test this again, and it works. The next build is Whistler Build 2428, which I did a video on before. If you want to check it out, I'll have a link in the description and in the YouTube cards, maybe if I remember. Anyways, here are the new features introduced in this build. Firstly, a new boot screen has been introduced, and personally, it is the best Windows boot screen ever. Another thing that was added was a new OOBE. Some things that changed were the check marks will become radio buttons. Some other things include the introduction of the Luna theme, which was the default theme in Windows XP, and a new UI using that theme. The new Windows flag is also used sometimes, but the old Windows flag might still be seen. We also can see that the default wallpaper is Red Moon Desert, which will be changed in the future. The taskbar is also not locked by default, which is what should happen in Windows XP. Of course, this will be fixed in the next build that we take a look at. Windows XP Build 2433 is a pre-beta 2 build compiled on February 6, 2001, so let's see what the changes are. Let's start with the setup, where the prompt asking for the user to press F5 to launch the automated system recovery has been removed. Nothing much changed until we got into the out-of-box experience, where the checking internet connection prompt was added, where Windows checks your internet connection if you had one. The Luna theme was also finalized as the official theme for Windows XP. However, the wallpaper was still Red Moon Desert. The taskbar is also locked by default, unlike Whistler Build 2428. The scroll bars have also been updated to their final designs. However, you might not have noticed. The next build we will be taking a look at is Windows XP Build 2465, which is a post-beta build. We don't know if it's an RC1 build, but it's under the RC1 section in Beta Wiki. The first change I want to talk about is in the out-of-box experience. The pre-OOBE displays settings pop-ups, which was updated to have a reduced thing to just an OK confirmation dialog, with the never ask again checkmark being removed. Because why would you need that if the pop-up is only going to show up once? I mean, you only go through the OOBE once, right? A bug in this build breaks the OOBE on a clean install, so you have to kill the msoobe.exe process and click cancel on the display dialog that comes up before the OOBE starts. Before we log in, let's get into the login screen. The clouds that we have seen in previous builds have been replaced with a spotlight, and the Windows logo has been moved to the top left of the screen, with the text under it being removed. A couple of look and feel changes happened as well. The Luna theme has its final design like we saw in the last build. It also removed the shiny start button seen in previous builds like 2428. The operating system has also been renamed from Windows Whistler to Windows XP. Also, another thing that you probably have noticed by now is that Bliss is now the default wallpaper, replacing Red Moon Desert. Fun fact, both Bliss and Red Moon Desert were taken by the same photographer, Charles O'Rear. Another change that can be seen is the icons, which most of them have been updated to the Windows XP icons. For example, the Internet Explorer brand new profile pictures and wallpapers were added to the system. The More Programs menu was renamed to All Programs in the Start menu. The Log Off and Turn Off Your Computer text now has its first letter capitalized. Some programs that were removed from the Quick Launch toolbar include Outlook Express and MSN Explorer. Some changes also happened to other parts of Windows. Some changes include the balloon tips now having an X button to close them. The run and compatibility mode and release notes icon have been removed from the desktop, and the shutdown dialog has been changed to make the background fade instead of using the block effect seen in previous builds. A couple of changes have also been made to a couple of the default Windows programs. These changes are that there are brand new internet options in the control panel, now allowing the use of third-party browser extensions and disallowing the use of visual styles on web pages. The gaming options applet was also renamed to game controllers. Another thing that has been updated is Windows Media Player, which has a completely new design from the last build. The sample music has been changed and you cannot find the original ones anymore. Windows Movie Maker's default tour has also been removed. The Windows XP tour is also here and it looks much like the final one in RTM. Speaking of RTM, that's going to be the next build that we will be taking a look at. So, yeah. The RTM release of Windows XP was compiled on August 24th, 2001. Today, when I'm recording this and when this video releases, it's August 24th, 2026, meaning that 25 years have passed since Windows XP was compiled to release to manufacturing. This has been 25 years of Windows XP, and that's why I made this development history video. This development history video wasn't supposed to come out today. It just did. And that makes a pretty nice feeling. A feeling of bliss. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave your video ideas. Keep being great. Check out the videos in the description. I've used some other YouTubers and I have credited them in the description because you should credit them if you are using their video clips. And yeah, this video took me over 2 years to make, and yeah, I went through Windows XP builds, Windows Whistler builds. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment. Blame the London and Northeastern Railway for all your Windows problems. I'm 7Z, and I'll see you in the next video.